Welcome to the Hounds for Life podcast show. Welcome to the new viewers and thank you for checking in, and welcome back to all our reoccurring viewers. We love your support and we love to produce the show for you. So please stay tuned. There's a big show coming up with lots of great information and footage. I'm as always your host Maya, and today I'm here with my lovely co-host Kate.
Hello, Maya.
Hello, Kate. How are you?
Good, very good.
Awesome. It's lovely to have Kate here. She's visiting. She is my very trusted Greyhound and house sitter.
Yep, on a rare occasion, I've enjoyed it very much.
Yes. She might become an owner one day. Who knows?
Now that I've seen you can do it in small spaces.
Yeah, exactly. City living, ideal. Today's show is all about the Great Mates Rehoming Programme in New Zealand. For those of you who are just checking in and don't know what this show is about, it's all about ex-racing retired greyhounds. So the stars of this show are not pets that you can buy in the pet shop or from a breeder. They are adopted greyhounds who had had a career in racing before, and when they are done with racing they are all going into the rehoming program, which is in New Zealand the Great Mates Rehoming Programme. And we had the great fortune to go on a tour in August and visit the brand new facilities in Levin. And it was amazing. We have interview with the Kennel manager. We have interview with the manager of Great Mates. We are going on a tour through the new facilities, and we are even watching a real life assessment on a new arrived dog, which is a safer assessment. It is absolutely fascinating, and please stay tuned so you can watch all the footage.
Looking forward to it.
Great. Yeah. A big shout out to all our subscribers to the channel. We reached our goal, 1,000 subscribers just by the beginning of the month. Yay! Thank you so much. We're really over the moon that you are supporting us, and thank you also for your lovely comments. And to those of you who are just checked in, please hit the subscribe button now. You will never miss an episode, and you do help to support the show. So what has happened with Hounds for Life in the last month since the last show? We have rehomed quite a long list of greyhounds. And yeah, it was amazing. And I actually gonna read out the names today because I think they are worth it. That we actually mention each of one of them. So we have rehomed Lucy, whose racing name was Aroha Flyha. We have rehomed Scooby, which is now Spooky, and his racing name was Scoobazi. We have rehomed Ivy. Her racing name was Big Time Ivy. We have rehomed Zara. His name was Zara, his racing name. Artie has found a lovely forever home. That was actually a foster failure because she wanted to take him as a foster and then she couldn't let him go again. So we call it a foster failure.
When you can't let go of them.
So now he's adopted, has a lovely home, and his racing name was Homebush Durant. Then we had Lucky. His racing name was Sedgebrook Magic. We have rehomed Gizmo. His racing name was Siran, and Happy, her racing name was Lightning Lou. Well, that's quite a list. And we have reserved James. He might go to home before Christmas. His racing name was Lucky James. And we have only one dog at the moment in the kennels for Christmas. Her name is Tui. She is a new arrival. Her racing name was Dark Syra. And she might wants to have a rest before we introduced her to potential new owners after Christmas.
How long do they generally stay with you?
That's a good question. It really depends. We have very short visitors from a few days to a few months actually, and it has nothing to do with the dog. It's not like that any dog is in the kennels because he's no good. It's the most loveliest dogs are often the ones who are the longest with us. I think it's just It's just the flow of life, really. So, and we do enjoy our dogs as well. So obviously, we also like sometimes to hang on to a dog a little bit longer,
Waiting for their perfect match.
and waiting for the perfect match. Exactly, yes. So come along with us and watch the show. The first segment is with Candice. She is the manager of the Great Mates Rehoming Programme, and she's talking us through what that is and when it has been founded and what they do and what their goals and their ethics are. Super interesting. And then we are going on a tour with Kelly. She is the kennel manager, and she is showing us around on these lovely facilities. And then she's also demonstrating a safer assessment on a new arrival, Diesel, a lovely greyhound. He is brand new, and so we can actually see what they actually do to find out where the dog is in terms of pet life, suitable for pet life.
Readiness.
Please enjoy the upcoming show. This is episode 13, and the name of today's show is
Rocky.
and the Great Mates Rehoming Programme. See you later.
Little darling, it's been a long, long racing season. Little darling, it's time to rest and find a home. Here comes the hounds, didn't you know? Here comes the hounds, and I say it's for life. Hounds for life. Hounds for life.
Upcoming segment is an interview with Candice at a live-in at the Great Mates Rehoming Programme. I'm sitting here with Candice, the manager from the Great Mates Rehoming Programme in New Zealand, and we were waiting for a while to be able to come and visit you because you were just building these beautiful facilities, Candice, and we couldn't wait to show you what they have done here. You can be very proud of what you have achieved, and we would love to hear all about it.
We're very excited to show you. We've got a lot of good things here that we'd love to show you all.
So for our viewers, what is the Great Mate Programme?
So Great Mates is run by GRNZ, Greyhound Racing New Zealand. We took it upon ourselves to make sure that we can give every one of our racers what they deserve after their racing career. So we set up Great Mates to oversee everything that goes on and ensure that every single greyhound that comes through our rehoming program gets what they need. So we set the Great Mates system up first, and we're the ones that take them directly after they deregister from racing and give them everything they need to become a pet before we then pass it on to our agencies. And this way we just know we have a special new software that we've recently designed and built to ensure that we've got records every single dog. So once they're registered for racing, then they're deregistered from racing, go onto our waiting list, then go through the rehoming program, get assessed, everything is recorded for every single dog, so we can look up any dog that you'd want to and look at its whole career and where it's in the rehoming program, and so every dog is accounted for.
That is so wonderful to hear. So it really is, there's no way that a dog slips through your fingers.
That's right.
Once it's retired. But you just have recently opened, have you?
Yeah, so it officially launched, Great Mates officially launched in August 2019. So we've run, this is a year marker as we speak now of our first year, and it's gone really well.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so it is our year anniversary this month actually. And we've also recently opened a new segment of Great Mates. So our agencies rehome all our dogs once they are graduated to green. And then we have a few special dogs that have special needs. So that might be a blind dog, a dog with an injury or a growth plate, or anything like that. So just something that requires something a little extra.
So they are not going to be put down, they're going to have their special care.
That's right. So we'll make sure that we find them a special home that's willing to take them to their special treatments or whatever it is that they may need for the rest of their life. So whatever it is, we'll make sure that they get it. A couple of years ago, we purchased this property that we're going to give you a tour in shortly. It's got 62 kennels. And they're all massive, too big really. They're like a hotel for each of them almost. They're much bigger than the standard size stated in the New Zealand standards for pet dogs. And we've invested a lot of money and time to be able to increase capacity across the whole country as well. So we also rented or contracted on satellite kennels down in Rangiora in the South Island and up in Cambridge up in Auckland. So we've got capabilities across the whole spine of New Zealand. So anyone that wants a greyhound has access to them.
So how do you get your greyhound? How does that work?
So once the greyhound has been deregistered racing, once it's finished its racing career, it automatically gets added onto one of our waiting lists, either Rangiora, Cambridge or Levin, or all three. And then once their spot becomes available up in the kennels, then they get a call to come in and they enter into our program officially. Once they're in here, we let them settle in for a few days and we give them all that they need while they stay here: food, exercise, treats, toys, training, things like that. Once they've settled in, we take them for a full vet check. So a vet gives them a full health check over to make sure everything's okay. They get their dental done, so they get their teeth nice and done. Full spa treatment here, their nails done and a groom. And then also a DSEX, so they all get DSEXed as well. So that's called our wellbeing package. So we make sure that they're perfectly healthy and happy. And then we also give them an assessment. Mm-hmm. So we use the SAFER tool, which is a nationally recognised assessment that SPCA use as well. And that's just to check that they are safe and ready to go out to society as a pet. And we'll show you an example of one of those later. Mm-hmm. That categorises them into what training they'll need to be ready for a pet. So they'll either be red, amber or green. And once they've passed all of that and they're a green dog and they're DSEX and they've had their health check and their grooming and their spa package and they're ready to go, we have our wonderful agencies that then come in and find them their perfect family that matches with their personality. And once they found their perfect family, they go off for their new life.
So every greyhound that has been raised and is deregistered because the greyhound is retiring for any kind of reason comes into your program.
That's right. So every single one, as soon as they're deregistered, will go automatically on our list, and then they come into our program. And we're very proud to say that every single one that's come through our program, we've managed to rehome, or we're still in our rehoming program. So we haven't had to euthanize a single dog because we give them anything that they need, whether it's behaviour, medical. We give all the dedication, time, and resources to ensure that that dog gets whatever it needs to become a pet.
That is so wonderful. Then, as we all know by now, if you're a regular with the Hounds for Life channel, greyhounds are the best pets ever. And it would be an absolutely shame to leave any dog behind. And I'm very happy and proud to be in New Zealand, where I know every dog is looked after. We cannot talk for other countries, but that's what we do.
Yes, we're very proud. We consider every single life as much is worth as much as the next, and that's why we put so much into every single one.
Would you like to talk to us a little bit about the green, red, and orange or yellow dogs?
Yes, certainly. So our green dogs are basically dogs that are all ready. They just have the personality to be a pet, so they're confident enough to see new things. Greyhounds, because of their racing career, they're not used to things like even carpet or hoovering or microwave sounds, things like that. So some of that can be scary, and we just need to get them accustomed to those things that they've never experienced before. The green dogs are ready to go straight away, so they're quite confident and happy in themselves. The ambers might just have a slight thing that they need to work on, and so usually an amber might be a couple of weeks just doing some regular training, or take them out for walks with other breeds of dogs, take them into different areas like carpeted areas and experience new people and things. And the red dog usually has a full behaviour modification plan that will involve specific things, whatever it needs to work on, and there'll be daily training that goes into that dog to give them what they need. Usually it is around small dog interactions because they've never seen a small dog before, or any other breed really. They've only really seen greyhounds, so we just need to get them used to seeing these other dogs because to them they're aliens, they're different, they don't know what this thing is, and so we just walk them with other little dogs and go on big walks all together, and eventually they become friends because they realise that they're just another dog like them.
That is so wonderful. Is there also an issue with cats?
Yes, so like any dog, we do have ones that love to chase the cat. So we have certain ones that we call cat trainable. They're the greyhounds that we consider safe to be able to train to live with a cat. We have cats here that we can walk them by and get them to visualize the cat and see what their reaction is like, so we can gauge whether that dog would be able to be trained or not. Some are and some aren't, so that's not something that you would force on them. That would just be, some dogs are born that can cope with that and others aren't.
So with other words, the cat doesn't qualify for any of the colors?
No, so you can be a full green dog but not cat trainable, which just means that you wouldn't live with a cat like any other breed of dog that might not either.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you, Candice. That's so interesting and so exciting to have these facilities and have such a pro running it with such a big heart for animals, which I can see. So what is your story then? How did you come to have this job?
Well, I've always worked with dogs. They're my passion, they're my love. So I'm very lucky to be able to work in my passion and with the things that I love the most. I've worked for SPCA before, and I also run my own dog businesses, the Dog Hotel, which is exactly as it sounds. They had their own beds and armchairs and everything, so they're very spoiled. So I love to spoil dogs because I think they deserve it. And then after that, I was a canine hydrotherapist, which is like a physio for dogs in water, so ones that are maybe paralysed or out of surgery, and an underwater treadmill or a pool. Mm-hmm. And so I worked with those dogs and rehabilitated them after. So this is the next step, a different type of rehabilitation after that I wanted to give the dogs everything that they need in all different ways.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm thinking that Great Mates are very lucky to have you, Candice.
Oh, thank you. That's very lovely.
And it was so lovely to have you on the show. We are so grateful.
Much.
And it's time to say bye-bye now.
Oh, thank you very much for coming. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It was lovely to have you.
You too.
Next one is Kelly. She's the kennel manager at Levin, and she takes us on a tour through the beautiful facilities in this beautiful environment of rural New Zealand, where the dogs have so much room and stimulations and green and run around and are just amazing. And we're going to meet Rocky. Rocky has a fascinating story. He is a long-term resident of the Living Kennels, and she's sharing why and the story, and it's a really lovely success story about Rocky.
Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm the kennel manager here at Great Mates in Levin. We're on a big facility here. We have 33 Greyhounds at the moment. A normal day-to-day routine for our Greyhounds is 7:30 in the morning. Staff come in, we feed the Greyhounds their breakfast. Most of them get soaked cop rice, or some get Tux biscuits, whichever they prefer in the morning. Then the staff clean all their kennels, so they go out to the toilet pens. They're thoroughly cleaned inside and out, and then they then go for their walks. Their first lot of walks during the morning is they all get out and they go right down to the back of the facility, and then they come back down. We also have 5 paddocks that we have separated into play runs. They've got toys that they can play with, just have some cuddles with staff, just do some running around. So we have that as well as their walks, and that alternates during the week depending on the weather. The paddocks can be too slippery for them to go into, so they will do the big walk instead. Then the afternoon is training. We do their safer assessment, and then the other staff get the other dogs out and they just have another walk or another play, a groom, bath, whichever needs to be done. And then 4 o'clock is our dinner time. The Greyhounds will get their dinner. They get their soaked cop rice and beef mince. Then they all get their rugs on and their beds made, and they go to bed, and it's nice and quiet, and they get their treat before the staff leave at 5 o'clock. So that's the normal routine here at Great Mates for the Greyhounds. We have a vet visit that comes once a month, and today he was here doing all our vaccine boosters. So for all the dogs that need to have lepto, kennel cough boosters, he comes out and does all of that. And he also comes out and examines any greyhounds that we may think need something not quite right, or so he examines all those as well. And then weekly we have our greyhounds go to the vets to be de-sexed, full dentals, vaccinations. After 5 o'clock, when the staff leave, the dogs aren't alone. I have CCTV video cameras via an app on my mobile phone, so I can check in and look at all the dogs at any time to make sure that they're comfortable, make sure they're okay, and just keep an eye on them, which is what I do through the night. I also have alarms that ring on my mobile through the app if we have any fires, smoke alarms go off, any doors that have been open. It all comes straight to me as via an alert, and I get that immediately, so I can proceed to do what I need to do. The whole facility is also alarmed, so at night at 5 o'clock when we leave, I just go onto my app and I alarm the whole facility. So tour of the facility, we're starting right here with our first 7 kennels, which is the vet recovery. So this is where all our dogs go into for 14 days after they've been de-sexed, had their dentals and so forth. They stay there together. They do short on-lead walks only, and all their medication is given. And then we have over the other side in the middle, we have our ready for adoption dogs. The dogs are here and are allocated to our rehoming agencies. So on the whiteboards, as you'll see, they'll either have NR or GAP, which is night rave or gap. And they come in and they rehome our dogs from there. And then we go up to the top block where we have our new arrivals, as the first 7 there. All the dogs that are coming in go into that block. They stay there until they have gone to the vets. This just helps quarantine as well, so they're not bringing in anything that they may have picked up and given to our other dogs. So they stay there and then they go into the vets and then they go to the vet recovery, and then from there they are assessed. And then we have over the top, the very top is our amber block. So we have our amber dogs that are in training up there. And over the other side we have 4 kennels that we allocate for red dogs that may come in. Then we have our cat enclosure. The cat enclosure is huge. They have a big outdoor enclosure with tunnels that they can go through. They have plants. They have a lot of stimulation in there. They can also go through the tunnel and into a enclosed kennel. They have all that as well. And then they also have a bed box where they can go in for shelter, whichever they prefer. The cats, they love the greyhounds. They grew up here as babies, so they were born here. So they've been raised around the greyhounds. They're very confident. They go straight up to them and they allow the greyhounds into the cat cage as well. They have an important job. They roam around and tell us pretty much if the greyhounds are cat trainable or not. Kennel next door to the cats is 2 of our small dogs. They live in that kennel together and they interact with the cats as well. They go into the cat cage, they do their toileting, they go out for walks twice a day, plus do training with the greyhounds. And then we walk over to the other side and we have our other little test dog. He's there with a day pen on his own, as we use that as a training tool for greyhounds. So we put a greyhound next, and that gives that greyhound constant exposure to learn who he is and his behaviour. It helps them to realise that this is a dog. It's a lot smaller. It's a fluffy, but it is a dog, not something I can chase. And we have a lot of success with that. And we've got the back facility, which is where the greyhounds get walked, and then we've got our paddocks as well. We've got a variety of toilet pens here where the dogs go into to do their business. We have small stone like gravel in all the pens, so it's not hard on their feet, that's nice and soft, but it also means all their waste goes down into the stones and comes out into a septic tank, so you have no smelly urine or faeces. So all our small dogs here are ex-show and breeding dogs. They are used to living in kennel environments. They are very happy here. They get a lot of enrichment and stimulation. They are working dogs. They work with our greyhounds daily. All three of them go on walks with our amber dogs for training. They also get their own free time, and we assess dogs with them as well, so the greyhounds. The first assessment, they meet one of the Spitzers, and then if they're okay first off with the Spitzers, then we bring in our toy dog, and if they're okay with the toy dog, then well, that is pretty good. If they're not okay with the Spitz, first off, we leave the toy dog out and they work with the Spitz until they are ready, and then they move to the toy dogs. So this is Rocky. His race name is Gotcha Rocky. He came to me from Rangiora Kennels, satellite kennels, approximately 1 year ago now. Rocky came in with us. He was just full of energy, very boisterous, very jumpy. He had quite high prey drive towards our small dogs. So we have worked with him for the last year, and we've also put him into Great Mates Prison Programme, where he graduated with a certificate. So he's learnt to sit, he has learnt commands, he has learnt to behave, and he has learnt command and clicker training here at the facility with us. So he has turned into a very, very good boy. He loves to play. He is very, very playful, obsessed with balls, as you can see. He just can't get the ball off him. He is affectionate, super affectionate. He has graduated here with us as well, and he is ready for adoption now. And he will make, a fantastic pet. Thank you for coming with me on the tour of our Great Mates Rehoming Programme.
Now we're gonna see Kelly, how she is assessing a new arrival. His name is Diesel. He's just been through, as we now know, he's just been through the vets and the quarantine, so to speak, and is now ready for being assessed. So Kelly finds out if he's a green, amber or red dog, and if he's cat trainable or not, and takes it from there. So this is called the Safer Test, and yes, there's something to learn in this how-to segment, how to do a Safer Test.
So this is Diesel. He's a new arrival, and he has been to the vet. He's been desexed, and he's been through our vet recovery. So now we are just doing a safer assessment on him, just to see where he's at and what sort of home he can go to, his little quirks, what he doesn't like, what he does like. So there's a few steps through this. I'll take you through, and I will tell you about the steps as we do it. So the first one is the look test. So we're just seeing if he is happy to look at me in the eyes for 3 seconds we're looking for. I'll show you how to do that with the cupped hands. Good boy. Good boy. And he just looks deep in my eyes, and he's not even moving. And I can have him in my cupped hands, and he's just soulfully looking into my eyes. So that is just beautiful. to see. Good boy. Good boy. And then the next part, we're going to do sensitivity. So we want to see if he is sensitive anywhere around his body. So we do the ears, and he's fine. And we're just rubbing all over. And as you can see, his tail, good boy. He's quite relaxed. He's not showing me he's uncomfortable. He's not stiff or anything like that. And he's just happily standing there. Good boy. Good boy. And sometimes you can find their spots if you give them a good scratch. Good boy. So he's fine. I can touch his tail. Sometimes if they go into an environment where there's kids and kids are quite grabbing them, and so we just want to make sure that he hasn't got any sensitive spots where he would react to if a child or anyone grabs him anywhere he's not uncomfortable with, but he's absolutely fine. And then the next step is tag. So this is where we're going to see if he will follow me and play, interact with me. So we'll just see if he's going to cooperate because he's seen a bed. Right, Diesel, come on, tag, good boy, come on. And he's not really interested in playing with me. Hey, come on. Good boy, come on. And then I'm going to just crouch down and see if he comes up to me on his own, which he has. So that's really, really good. Good boy. Diesel normally is playful, but I think it's just, he's a bit unsure. The next step we do is a squeeze test. So we're testing to see if how he reacts to his feet being squeezed. And we just hold it there. Squeeze. And we're looking for if he pulls back his paw, if he yelps. Squeeze. Good boy. And I had no reaction from either. So we do each foot just to see if he's going to react to that, and he hasn't, so that's excellent. The next one is the food behaviour. So we're going to see what he is like with food. I do a variety of steps with the food behaviour because I like to go a bit more in depth. So I always start with seeing if he will take food from my hand, Diesel, and if he's gentle, Diesel, good boy. And he's very gentle and he will take food from my hand, and he's, not biting me. Good boy. Good boy. So now I'm going to put my hand and see if he reacts to my hands being in there. And I'm going to move the bowl. Diesel. And push his cheek to see if he'll stop eating, which he isn't. He's quite foodie. He's not aggressive though. And I'm just going to run the hand over him just to see if he's going to react, which he's... See, I would not place him, you would not let any child near him while he's eating. As you can see his behaviour, he just paused there and looked at me, which is not too great. So, and I also do see if he'll take it. So he's very, very foodie, so he gulps like it's his last meal. So that tells me that you would be very, very careful homing him with a child, or you'd have to make sure that the children do not go near him while he's eating. So now we're going to do see what he is like with the toys, and what we're looking for here is to see if he will relinquish the toy to me with no issues. Diesel, what's this? What is it? Go get it. Good boy. Bring it here. Ta. Good boy. See, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for the good boy. Here you go. Diesel. Ta. Good boy. It's a bit snappy. What about the ball? Bring it here, Diesel. Leave it. Come here. Drop. Good boy. Good boy. So he's a bit snappy with the toys. Very playful. Loves toys, obviously. That's something we all have to watch with the children as well. Playing with him is the snap. Good boy. Get it. What about this? Good boy. Ta. Leave it. Diesel. Oh, it's from there. Leave it. Good boy. So he's quite happy to relinquish the toy to me without any aggression. So that's what I'm looking for. And that is the end of the sofa.
That's it for the show. We hope you enjoyed our program today, and just stay tuned. There's a little bit of a doggy walk coming up after we said goodbye, and that's actually what is left to do for us. So we wish you a very Merry Christmas, or whatever you're celebrating in your tradition, and a very happy and successful New Year. And we hope to see you again in our next show next year. Until then, bye.
Happy holidays.
Little darling, it's been a long racing season. Little darling, it's time to rest and find a home. Here comes the hounds, didn't you know? Here comes the hounds, and I say it's for life. Hounds for life.
So where are we looking?
Hounds
Here is
for
the-
life.
Right in the big
The lens.
In the big
That's
lens.
the
Okay.
big round thing is the lens. Okay.